Welcome to KCYP and Cityscape. Another great interview. I'm very excited about today. We have none other than Elijah Rodriguez with us in the studio.
What's up, guys?
Thank you for making the time to come out here.
Thank you for having me on this awesome show.
Now, you might have recognized him from Sicario 2, from the Book of Life, from the movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme,
We Die Young,
We Die Young,
and a couple other projects.
yeah, a couple of other projects, and Macho that's coming up,
yes,
right?
sir. Macho and Killer Date.
And that's right. And so he is born in the Rio Grande Valley and raised a little bit here in the Valley and in LA, correct?
I grew up. I got a little taste of both ends. A little bit of the West, a little bit of the South. It's very interesting. It definitely helped me grow up and see things in a different way, for sure.
So we're really proud of him because, like we were talking, before the show started, there's a lot of talent here in the Valley. This is proof, we've got a lot of talent here in the Valley and a lot of actors, a lot of filmmakers. And one of the initiatives of Film in Valleywood is to promote this area. As such, we want to bring more productions down here, and I'm excited as to what's coming up. It's the industry's growing.
Yes, it is.
And we've got folks like Elijah that are backing up this initiative to bring more films down here. So I am excited. So let's just get started. Let our audience know a little more about you.
For sure. So, real quick thing about me. I started acting when I was 9 years old. I started locally, actually here at the Creative Incubator where we're at, and I started with the local theater group. Kind of just found an ad on the newspaper, and I definitely always wanted to try out acting. I loved movies. I grew up watching Pulp Fiction, Scarface, all the spaghetti Western classics, you name it. I loved action films, though, Bruce Lee movies. So I always had a passion and love for films. My family and I always connected with watching movie nights. Every week we had our movie nights. We get our popcorn, our chips, our snacks, and we sit down and watch the movies together as a family. And movies always were like an escape for me, Sometimes I didn't really know how to get along with people. I wasn't really outgoing at first. And then through movies, I would kind of learn about life, and I would learn how to act and how to be, learn my social skills through them. And I was really reserved at first, I would just stay in my room, play video games and watch movies all the time. And then through acting, when I started acting, I came out of my shell, out of my comfort zone, which was really scary. I had to go on stage my first time, perform a monologue, and had never acted before. I kind of pretty much, bombed it, but I definitely had the potential and I saw it. I kept pushing. I ended up doing local theater plays. We ended up doing at Cine El Rey, at the park. We did a little play for a Christmas play for the mayor in the city. So I got to meet the mayor, and then I started with local commercials. And then that's when I saw that there was potential for this. Back then, there wasn't a lot of actors in the Valley, if none, maybe, except for one guy, Raul Castillo. But it was very hard and difficult. And especially down here in Texas, where they're really focused on sports, if you did art, it was kind of like you were seen as the weird kid, the goofy kid, right? And I got bullied for it. I'm not going to lie, but I didn't care about any of that because I loved and had a passion for art and films. Anything with art, fashion, music, movies, you name it, drawing, that was my thing. Don't get me wrong, I love sports too, but I definitely connected more with art. And so that's when I moved to LA.
So you went to Nicky Rowe when you were down here for a bit, right?
So I came back for a little bit to take care of some family, and I had already been living in LA for 5 years. I hadn't been back to the RGV for a good 5 years.
You had already done the Book of Life.
I had already done the Book of Life. I had already done Sicario. And then I came down for a bit for 2 semesters to Nicky Rowe. And it was funny seeing when I first left, all the same people who were like, you're not going to make it, stop telling people about, what you're going to do. You're just going to come back and not do anything. Those same people ended up kind of riding on my tail, saying oh, what's up? I've known you forever. And it's just funny to see, how the shift. But I knew I was doing something right because, they say when you shine bright, there's going to be shade. When you're doing something right and you're in the spotlight, there's going to be some hate. There's going to be some, jealousy. And it's just, you just got to push through it. You got to do you. You got to know who you are. You got to know your talent, your ability as an artist and as a human being, and not let the haters get to you, Use that hate as motivation. That's what I did. I proved them wrong, and I loved it,
So the Book of Life was your first big project, right?
That was my first big feature film, SAG, Hollywood,
Yeah.
yes.
How did you land that? How did you get into that?
So I had to audition, I kid you not, about 7 times. And I went into it.
Were you already living in LA or were you down here? Okay.
No, I actually got it my first year being out there. So I started doing commercials, national commercials, and that is on itself is being on a set. You know, you have your director, you have your casting director, you have your makeup artist. So it's like a real set, and you're only shooting for 2-3 days. I gained the experience through that. I was doing short films too, and then I ended up moving to voiceover film. And with that, I ended up working with Guillermo del Toro, which is one of my favorite directors and producers. He's from Mexico, El La Raza, and you know I respect him for it. He's pushing boundaries for Latinos and people like us and of color. And George R. Gutierrez, which ironically he was a big animator, and I used to watch his show El Tigre in Reynosa because I grew up on the other side of the border too with my grandma, and they would play it there. So it's really interesting how you attract what you watch and what you know pay attention to. And I grew up watching Guillermo del Toro's creepy films like El Orfanato, and one of my favorite movies is by him. It's called Pan's Labyrinth, El
Yeah.
Laberinto del Fauno.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, like that man is a visionary. He can literally make you delve into his movies, into his world, and you feel like you're in there. And you know he's good at like telling creepy stories, but still having a message, still saying something meaningful. And that I love, you know, I really appreciate it. So yeah, I got to work with them. It was wonderful. I ended up going to a studio in LA, and I was working with them, and I got to meet amazing people, and it was an amazing experience. And voiceover is hard.
Mhm.
It's really hard, you know, because you don't have that stuff in front of you. So you got to act it out to actually feel it and be in the scene and feel the energy. So if I was marching, I'd be marching there, right? Or whatever. If I was running, I'd run a little, like I'd run in plays just to get that energy, right?
Yeah.
And so it was a very fun experience and a blessing and humbling experience. And I got to work with Ana La Reguera, Zoe Saldana, Channing Tatum, Machete, Salma Hayek, Kay del Castillo, Diego Luna. I mean, Ice Cube, Ron Perlman. I mean, you name it. But for Latinos, like it was huge. It was a huge project. And then we inspired a whole generation of like animated like Latino films because then Coco copied us, and then Encanto. So we were like the pioneers, I feel like, for those kind of movies, and it hit. So it was really cool.
That's neat.
Yeah.
And so what is it like being casted for now jumping over to Sicario, you know? So you hear, okay, this character plays a kid from McAllen. You're like, man, I'm from McAllen.
That's what I said. I say this: the roles pick the actor. You know, it's written for you, and it's meant for you. No one can take it away from you. I believe in destiny, and I truly think, you know, that my character was me. And he grew up on both sides of the border. He grew up in McAllen, Reynosa. There's no such thing as coincidence. It's all fate. I mean, I'm Christian, so that's my faith, and I believe in that, right? God always has a plan for you, and what's meant to be is meant to be.
Man,
so
right.
I truly just trust in God, and I owe it all to Him. He literally opens the doors, and I just walk through them. And people ask me how I do it. I don't know. I just put in the work. You know, I studied, but the rest is all God, just opening doors for me left and right. So yeah,
that's fantastic.
And so then Sicario comes around. I'm 16 years old, 15 actually, mind you. I was in 10th grade, and I was auditioning. I had to go back about 8 times, and 8 times I had to audition. Yeah, and then so that one was definitely, it was nerve-wracking. I mean, it was my first time doing a feature film that I'm actually coming out in, right? So it's not just the voice, it's everything, you know, facial expression, body language, voice, all of it. So I was nervous, and I was working with big names, people I loved growing up: Josh Brolin, Catherine O'Keener, Isabella Moner, David Castañeda, who else? Benicio del Toro, one of my favorite actors that I grew up watching. I truly think he is the best to ever do it on screen, and in our generation and in the past. He's up there with Marlon Brando, with Marilyn Monroe. He's one of the greats, and he's finally getting his flowers. But honestly, working with people on that level, I was really nervous, but they are so good that you're just feeding off them. You know what I mean? You're just there present in the moment, and you're killing it. I mean, it's all energy. I really think acting is spiritual. It's energy, you know, analytical too. You study, but when you're in there, it's all energy, and it's a collaborative effort. You know, it's not just you, it's everyone, the production team, assistant directors, production assistants, makeup artists. Everyone has to be doing their job and be on point, or else the movie will fall apart. It's not just the actors. You know, a lot of the people give the credit to the actors, but no, it's everyone. Yeah, sure, the actors are putting in the work too, right? And we're the face of it. But it has to, I say making a movie is like we're all cogs in a machine and we're making it run, right? So I feel like people a lot of times behind the scenes don't get enough credit.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
but slowly they're starting to.
Yeah, that was one of the things I shared with the kids at film camp last week. I was telling them, every position in the film is very important. Even the person in charge of the crafties, they're in charge of the food, the catering. They keep the actors and the crew happy and fed. It's
Exactly.
and it's a very, very important.
Even the smallest roles. I always say this: there's no such thing as a small role, only small actors. Because you can have a small role and make it big and memorable. It's all what you
That's
put
true.
into it and give it.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
So now, tell me, what was it like working with on set with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Oh man, that was very interesting. I grew up watching his movies. I love martial arts. I love Bruce Lee, Van Damme, you name it, Jackie Chan. So working with him definitely inspired me to follow in those footsteps. So that's my goal now. I want to follow in the footsteps and show the world what martial arts have to offer. It's not just a sport. It's a way of life. It's a code to live by. It's more than just fighting. It teaches you that once you learn how to fight, you have a responsibility to do the right thing and to only defend and fight if you have to defend someone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it teaches you that in a fight, no one wins. That's why it just teaches you to walk away. You learn the value of things. You learn the true meaning of life and the responsibility that it has. And it really teaches self-discipline, determination, and to never give up. Honestly, what I was doing Taekwondo from like 9 to 13 years old, and I stopped for a bit, but I always said that what I learned and I took away always stuck with me because I applied the same determination and skills to acting, and it helped me. It worked, and to everything in life. So it always stuck with me. And I recently went back, like last year, to start martial arts again. And I went back to my old sensei, and he's still there. And it was awesome connecting with him again. Once it showed me there that you're part of a family. A lot of things when I have issues or like when I'm going through things, like I can talk to him, and he's like another older brother. And so I'm really appreciative for martial arts, and I just want to show the world what it can really bring. And I love action films. I've been doing action films, and I've been working on all these things. So I want to do my own stunts, like Van Damme, like Bruce Lee. And I saw Van Damme doing his own stunts at 70 years old, or about like 68, still kicking butt, like doing his own stunts. And they told me, like, man, he's still strong. Like he flipped someone on the ground, and they're like, it hurt. But hey, the fact that he's still moving like that, I was like, for him to be moving at that age like that, that's martial arts. And I'm like, and I'm trying to show that, if everyone just leads a healthy lifestyle and works out and, just takes care of their body and their mental and their spirit and their soul, it'll all be better. And your body will thank you for it later. And martial arts is about that. It's having discipline, taking care of your mental, spirit, and body. It's all three. It's funny.
And the proof is there. You have an injury. He walked in the studio today in crutches, and I'm like, oh man, what happened?
I still came and showed up, but that's what it showed. I was working out yesterday, man. I'm still, I'm determined. I want it, and that's how it is in life, man. You gotta want it bad because there's always someone out there who wants it just as bad as you and is putting in the work even more. When you're sleeping, when you're partying, what are they doing? They're studying, they're staying there, and I got distracted for a bit. I got distracted with some personal things, and I kind of got lost in the sauce for a while. I'll admit it, but I'm going back to, back to reform. So now I'm falling in love with the craft again. I'm seeing it from a different perspective with all this experience that I've had. Now I'm going back to it, being a veteran. I've been doing this for 13 years since I was 9 years old. I'm 23 now, about to be 24. And I definitely know I have the experience to do it right and to produce films. I want to produce my own films. I want to write, I want to direct and star in my own films. And I'll do it, And I think we can all work together in the Valley to make great things happen. There's so much talent down here, so much untapped potential.
That's right. Please share with our viewers what you were sharing with me earlier about tapping into and bringing projects down here.
Oh, yes. So I'm talking to a couple producers that I'm working with right now, and I'm letting them know that there's producers down here in the Valley, and there is talent that we can work together and collaborate and, bring that Hollywood to down here. And I like what you call it, Valleywood. I'm trying to make it Valleywood too. It's there's so much potential here, and you can make the money last too. Taxes are cheaper here. Everyone down here would love to be a part of projects like that. They're all supporting art now, and so people just want to be a part of that, but they don't know where to start. But that's why I say I come in. I have the experience. I grew up in Hollywood, so I can show people what needs to be done, because a lot of times they'll have the money, but they don't know where to go or the quality that it needs. But I have that eye because I've been able to work with these amazing directors, producers, writers, actors. So when I see quality, I can tell you how it is, you know? And I'm not going to be blunt about it because I want all of us to succeed. And we're representing La Raza, our people, Latinos, and the Valley. And, you know, so I feel like if we all work together, all of us can win, all of us can eat, you know? We just put our pride aside and we do what needs to be done. And we do it for the passion of the art, not for the money, not for the fame, but for the simple love of the passion of art and film. If you do it like that, I feel like the doors will open for you because, you know, the universe understands and God sees that and he sees your heart. And it's not for selfish reasons. It's not for selfish gains. It's because you're doing what you love and it's your passion. And this is my passion. No matter what, I always want to be a part of film. I always want to help out, even if I'm behind the camera, even if I'm a prop master. As long as I'm making films and helping, I'm happy, you know. So thank you. Thank you for being able to bring me here and letting me speak, you know, about what I love and my experience.
You know, I love the fact that that you mentioned that people here are friendly and they're hungry for films. You know, I want to give a shout out to Harlingen Police Department because in a film project a few years back, they actually allowed us access into their courthouse and into their police department, and they actually emptied it out for a whole day.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, it wasn't even in the weekend. I think it was a Wednesday. So for a Wednesday, they all just moved out of their courthouse.
Yeah.
And they moved business. I have no clue where they moved it to, but you know they have business as usual. Where they emptied it all out for us to go in there and just use it, just for free.
Literally.
You know, so people down here are willing to lend a helping hand.
Are.
So if you're watching it, you know it's true. You know, it's people here are friendly and they're very film friendly and they love film. So now you've got a couple projects that are in post production, right? Macho?
Pre-production.
They're still pre-production. Okay, Macho's one of those, right?
Macho's one of them. And Killer Date. I just signed on to that project. I'm really excited for both of them. They're definitely going to give me a different avenue to represent our people and to give me more freedom to show my range. Mm-hmm. Because I've been limited to a few type of roles. But I definitely see myself in the future being a Johnny Depp, Leonardo-esque, nice. DiCaprio, right, esque actor. I have the range. I've been studying this. I can do it all. I know I can. It's just being Latino and being in Hollywood, there aren't always many opportunities. But slowly that stereotype is breaking, right? And we're finally having artists who are Latino and Mexican who are pushing the boundaries. And I'm so proud of them. I have my friend David Castañeda. I have my friend Isabella Moner, Bobby Soto. They're all changing the landscape of Hollywood. And I'm so proud of them. And they're going to see me up there too. I'll be back soon, guys. So keep an eye out for me.
We know we're going to see you out there. We wish you the best of luck, and you're definitely doing it right. You know,
thank you, Joe.
You're diving into, you know, the craft, and you're pursuing, you're studying, you're learning.
Yes, sir.
You know, going back into martial arts, and you know, I hope to see you soon in a action film. You know, doing your own stunts and you know, kicking some butt on screen.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to bring back those martial arts films. You know, like the classic Bruce Lee, Van Damme movies. You know, Jason Segel. Like I love all of them.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm bringing back to that, and I will. You know. Thank you for having me.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. I know that you're going to be moving back to LA for a while.
Yes, next year I'm planning to move back and just focus fully on my career and be determined and not be distracted, you know?
Well, you always have a home here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Thank you.
You always have a home here in 97.7 FM. You know, the doors will always be open. Come back as many times as you want.
Sir.
You know, share with our viewers and just let us know what great new adventures you're doing up there. And we wish you the best. Wish you blessings upon your life and on every single one of your endeavors. May the hand of God be upon you.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else you'd like to mention before we wrap up?
One more thing. I love the Valley. I love RGV, and I'm trying to put the city on the map. I'm doing this for us, and we're going to do great things. We're going to change the landscape, and we're going to bring Hollywood down here, make it Valleywood.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Well, thanks again for making the time to come out here. It's an honor to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
And for those of you watching, keep watching 97.7 FM. Keep listening to 97.7 FM. And go and follow Elijah. How can they follow you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at ElijahRDZ. And that's kind of the only social media I'm active on. But find me there and you'll see all my content. I'm planning to make new content. And I got big plans coming. You know, I'm trying to get into fashion, video game streaming, YouTube, skits, all of that, man. You're going to see big things coming.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Any other voice acting projects coming up?
Not at the moment, but I am talking to an old friend who's making some projects, and hopefully you'll put me in. You know,
excellent.
He's an amazing. He's a visionary, and he's blowing up too. He's Mexican too. So, I'm in the talks with him, and hopefully.
Well, again, Godspeed to you.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for watching, and keep it tuned right here to 97.7 FM, The City.